There we go. Morning world, welcome to Friday 25th of August. Yeah, back on the topping today. So a little bit of a tidy up on my boundary with my neighbours. I don't want this getting too overgrown around here. In fact, we might have to come out and cut some of these trees back. So although this is north facing, we do the tree canopy here hides the farm from my neighbours. Not that I got anything to hide, but it's just they haven't got to look at my muddles. But we've still got to do it in a kind of, you know, neighbourly fashion. Just trim it back a little bit. So, I think the rest of it we'll have to do by hand. It's getting a bit narrow down there for the tractor. Okay. That's about as much as we can do right here for now. We'll get back onto the main grounds. Right, the bottom piece of the golf course is done. So I've only got this bit, that bit and the paddock out there to do. And that's me kind of finished over here. So I think if we've got time, maybe we'll call over to Tether Farm and go around the cereal grounds, headlands, and get them done, because I can do in one pass what will take the hedge trimmer free. So yeah, we'll see if we can save a bit of time. We'll go over there and do that if time and the phone don't ring allows. So the cattle have shown little interest in eating this bit of grass up here. I don't mind lying on it, but I don't know. Maybe we'll put some extra sodium or something on next year just to sweeten it up a bit. No reason why they don't like it. Tidy out there. But yeah, I think they've eaten everything they like out of it. You can see the patches out there, and left the rest. So either that, or it's because they used to lie up on this bank, there was a lot of poo on it, and maybe it's just soured the ground a bit. So yeah, we'll top it off, tidy it up, and then we will be out here doing some muck spreading sooner or later, and then we'll also be doing some slitting and raking. Break the muck down, get it in the ground, do some good. And also we're spreading some humus start as well. So I might I might invite Simon or Matthew from T-Mac to come and explain what humus start does. I know what it does, but they could explain it better. Basically, I'm looking at ways of reducing our reliance on nitrogen-based fertilizers. I want to go back a bit more organic if I can, and just use what we have in the ground. I mean, there's plenty of organic material out here. We had it measured, and there's plenty. So if we can make better use of our own organic fertilizers rather than relying on man-made nitrogens to me, that's a better job. So, especially if it's cheaper. A bit more work, but less money. Good boy, Mr. Thistle. I might have timed that about right. So everything I want on the golf course is now topped off and tidy. Tractor's gone back inside. Not made my mind up yet whether I'm going over to the farm to do some topping over there. If it's going to chuck it down with rain, I probably won't, because it'll just make a mess. You guys are all happy in there. So somebody commented, why is it when you've got so much grass that you've got these cattle shut in and you're feeding them? Well, the problem is I could take a couple of the steers over to the farm, but not the heifers. They need to stay here. These 3 cows haven't been to the bull. They've had their calves weaned off and we're just letting them dry up now, so which is more or less done. So the 3 cows are cull cows. They're off to slaughter soon. We'll be sorry to see them go, but it's just their time. And the heifers, they might go to the bull in September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April, September. September, October, the young heifers might go to the bull, and then I've got some heifers to calve next summer. So, and they'll probably be sold, so I'll sell them as in calf heifers, but they can't go to the bull yet. So that's the reason these guys are shut in. If I let them out on that bit of grass there, which I would like to, I can't risk the bull getting into them, because that fence, I don't think will stop him. He's a randy bugger, and if he thinks he can get to him, he will probably just walk straight through that fence. So for the sake and the cost of what, 10 bales, it wasn't worth the risk of letting him in there. So yeah, so I got to ring up the butchers, the abattoir, and get these 3 cows booked in. That'll probably be one day next week. A couple of the steers might go over to the farm, but yeah, the heifers, they'll go to the bull in about 4 to 6 weeks. So that's the reason they're shut in. Right, so tree team are back off of the job they were doing this morning, which was taming a great big wisteria on the front of a great big house. They sent me the pictures of it. They look like they made a pretty good job of it. I think the customer's pretty happy. But the job they're supposed to do this afternoon, I can't get hold of the client, he's not in. And we can't get into his place if he's not in, because the gates are shut. So the guys have pinched 695 and they're ready to do a bit of logging. They're not you trying to wring its neck. That's elm, that is. Yeah. That's elm, does that? Is that a bit of elm?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like that, it's stringy. Yeah. So it's quite handy having a loggy, because it does mean that if I can't send them out to the next job, I've got something for them to do. So got a few bags knocked up. They've been there for a week or two. Lots of folks are ordering their logs now. We've got a bag going out this afternoon. We had 2 bags go out earlier in the week. It is the time of year now when days are getting shorter, nights are getting longer, starting to cool. It's going to start cooling down, and folks are genuinely thinking about filling up the log store. Now is the time. If you've got a log store, now's the time to fill it up. Have it ready for the winter. If you buy your logs now, the chances are you'll get decent dry ones. If you leave it too late, and you end up with the wet ones. So yeah, get your logs now. So, still got to do that. I lent David, the builder, my roll of silage tape. I can't remember what for. I think he had it actually just stick down the DPM in the toilet. I can't find it, so I've not been able to patch those bells yet. So I don't know where it's gone. I'm gonna have to go and get another roll, or go on the internet, because according to Mr. Ford, Adam said, buy it on the internet, you can get like 6 rolls for 25 quid. So I might do that. Anyway, it is 12:30. I'm going in for my first cup of coffee of the day because I've not had one yet, and I want one. What are you doing up there? Hey, again? That's not a place for doggies, is it? No. Okay, right, well, that's the end of the tractor work for today. I ummed and ahed about going over to the farm to do a bit more over there on the topping. One, I think I would probably run out of time. Two, one of our tree customers rang up and said, I got a funny feeling my oak has got a split in it. Could you come and look at it? Well, it has got a split, but it's not that serious. It's Mrs. P. Hello, Mrs. P. Bye, Mrs. P. We will be doing a bit of remedial work on that, but it may not even be this year. And now I've got to look at another job in Barclay. But as I was coming out of the door, daughter number Sue said, "You using your car tonight?" And I said, "Well, maybe. Why?" She goes, "Could I borrow it? Both me and Mikey are working tonight, and we've only got one car, and I can't borrow, as in one of their sister's cars. So could I borrow yours?" It's like, oh. So I had intended to go and do 2 more jobs while I'm in the mood for quoting. So it looks like I've got to take the car home, van, when I finish this, give it to a daughter with a full tank of fuel in it, and then I'll have to finish my jobs in the Land Rover, which needs fuel. I mean, I got to put fuel in it anyway, but I just didn't think I was going to be doing it tonight. Kids. So not only did daughter nick my van, she got my wife to deliver it as well. So I've been left in the house by myself. So I've decided to eat some cake. I still haven't caught the mole. Still there. But I know where it is. And I want to set some traps. But we've got a couple of visitors coming. I don't really want to leave mole traps set when there's people here. So I might have to wait until they've left. So lifted there as well, and there and there. So the little tinker has literally worked his way all up through that patch there. Do I set a trap anyway? I really want to catch the little mole. Right, I've set one, just the one. So we'll flatten down the workings from last night, and then tomorrow morning we'll come out and probably find moved over there or something. So a couple of you have suggested a different type of mole trap, and I will indeed get into my catalogue from a certain company in Warmley, not far from here, about 18 miles that way, or my usual suppliers anyway. And yeah, we'll maybe order a couple of those and see how we get on with them. There was one over there, wasn't there? A little mound there. And there. He'd be pushing that turf up too. I will get it. It will happen. Right, well, if anybody comes out camping tonight, they can miss that pole, can't they? I'm sure they can miss just the one. Might actually put a cone on top of it. It's even easier to miss the cone, isn't it? Right. I'm definitely not going to forget where that trap is. Fingers crossed. Right, let's open these gates and get ready. They'll be here soon.